Ford aims for continued leadership of the supermini shaped hot hatch segment with this car, the third generation Fiesta ST. Of course, for not much more than the affordable prices Ford asks, you can buy more power. But after a drive in one of these, you probably won't want to.
Now, it isn't often with a small hot hatch that the engineers get things absolutely right. Either compromises are made for day-to-day drivability, which rob you of that last ultimate nth of response when you're really pushing on, or you get a race-bred rocket which loves the smooth circuit but is so firm that it simply gets on your nerves in everyday use. So let's cut to the conclusion here. With this ST, the balance between those two extremes is as good as it's probably ever going to get. Right up front, you might be worried about a downshift in performance this time around with the switch to 3-cylinder power. Don't be. The 1.5-litre EcoBoost engine pushes output up to the 200 PS level, which the previous 1.6-litre 4-cylinder engine needed an overboost function to reach. It sounds great too, particularly if you switch into the two dynamic drive modes provided this time around. Sport, which sharpens the acceleration and steering, and Track, which delivers an even firmer response at the helm and which slackens off the stability control for circuit use. More Grand Prix style gadgetry features in the optional ST Performance Pack that we'd highly recommend, which includes a Quaife limited slip differential for extra cornering bite, plus performance shift lights and a launch control setup. Frequency selective race style dampers and special force vectoring springs have allowed the engineers to improve the previous model's unyielding ride quality whilst still keeping the taut cornering feel. Plus there's a wider track, a super sharply responsive steering rack, a more rigid body, an uprated high performance braking system, Ti-VCT torque vectoring for extra cornering precision, and a specially developed set of Michelin Pilot Supersport tyres. The result of all this engineering is a very special package indeed, and that's something you'll realise after the first few seconds of driving it. It's easy to go overboard and get all max power when it comes to a car of this kind. That's a temptation Ford has carefully resisted here. Now, this isn't the prettiest junior shopping rocket you can buy, but it is playfully purposeful in demeanour. The business end dominated by smart honeycomb-finished upper and lower front grilles. Move to the side and you get a better perspective for the slightly bigger size of the car this time around, and for the way that Ford has tried to make the profile more settled and less aggressively wedge-shaped. Now, this is the first Fiesta ST. In fact, it's the first properly sporting Fiesta of any kind to be available with 5 doors. But, as you can see, we've opted for the supposedly slightly sportier 3-door version here. In short, you wouldn't be embarrassed to park this youthful junior hot hatch up at the office, but would you feel awkward about giving your boss a ride home? Time to take a seat inside. Want the headline news? Well, it's a huge improvement on what went before. Avoid entry-level trim, and once again, Recaro Sport seats make an appearance, but this time Ford's remembered to include height adjustment and to position them properly low so you feel more part of the driving experience. Now, you need these Recaros because otherwise you might be left wondering whether the emphasis on styling subtlety might not have been taken a touch too far. Yes, you do get a thick, grippy leather-stitched sports steering wheel and a silver finish for the pedals, the gear stick and the handbrake. Plus there are performance-branded door sill trims. You get carbon fibre trim around the dash, and most models feature blue-trimmed seat belts. But these trendy touches are easy to miss, and otherwise there's relatively little about this cabin that shouts hot hatch. The main news lies with this centre dash Sync 3 infotainment screen, which is 6 inches in size on the base model, but which grows to this preferable 8-inch display further up the range, and in the process gains navigation and a 10-speaker B&O Play premium audio system. Finally, let's take a look at the boot. Now, we should give you the total cargo capacity figure, 292 litres, which meets the current class standard. If you need more room, pushing forward the 60/40 split folding backrest frees up 1,093 litres, and that should be sufficient for the needs of most likely buyers. Designed by enthusiasts to be driven by enthusiasts, this fast Fiesta is poised, it's priced to sell, and with 200 PS on tap, it's plenty quick enough. It is the best car of its kind that Ford has ever brought us, and it retains market segment leadership on merit.